Hello everyone. In today's topic, we are going to talk about quadratic functions. So the graph of a quadratic function is a parabola. A parabola can open up or down. If the parabola opens up, the lowest point is called the vertex or the minimum. If the parabola opens down, the vertex is the highest point or the maximum. Note, if the parabola opens left or right, it is not a function anymore. The standard form of a quadratic function is in the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The parabola will open up when a value is positive. So when a is greater than 0, the parabola will open up. The parabola will open down when a value is negative. So if a is less than 0, the parabola will open down. A should not be equal to 0. Why? Because if a is equal to 0, then we don't have a quadratic function anymore. Instead, we have a linear function. Parabolas are symmetric. If we drew a line down the middle of the parabola, we could fold the parabola in half. We call this line the axis of symmetry. If we graph one side of the parabola, we could reflect it over the axis of symmetry to graph the other side. The axis of symmetry always passes through the vertex. Finding the axis of symmetry. When a quadratic function is in the standard form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, the equation of the axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. This is best read as the opposite of b divided by 2 times a. Find the axis of symmetry for y equals 3x squared minus 18x plus 7. So a is equal to 3 and b is equal to negative 18. Using the formula x equals negative b over 2a, we have 18. Because b is negative, so we have the opposite of negative 18, which is 18. 18 over 2 times 3, which is equal to 3. So 18 divided by 6 is equal to 3. So therefore, the axis of symmetry is x equals 3. So the axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex. Thus, the axis of symmetry gives us the x-coordinate of the vertex. So once we already find out the axis of symmetry, we can also determine the vertex. So find the vertex of y equals negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 3. So from here, the first step is to find the axis of symmetry. So using the formula x equals negative b over 2a. So a is equal to negative 2 and b is equal to negative 8. So from here, we shall have negative 8 over 2 times negative 2, which is equal to negative 8 over negative 4, which is equal to 2. So the x-coordinate of the vertex is 2, or the axis of symmetry is x equals 2. Now let us find the vertex. So we already solved the axis of symmetry, which is equal to x equals 2. And now we are going to substitute the x value into the original equation to find the x-coordinate of the vertex. So to find the y-coordinate, we are going to substitute. So we will be getting negative 2 times 2 squared plus 8 times 2 minus 3. In here, negative 2 times 4, it is equal to negative 8, and 8 times 2 is equal to 16. Simplifying further, negative 8 plus 16 minus 3 is equal to 5. So therefore, the vertex is 2, 5. So from the axis of symmetry, which is equal to x equals 2, we shall put the value of x to the original equation, and then we will be solving for y, and then we will be getting the vertex. Now we move on to graphing a quadratic function. There are three steps to graph a parabola in standard form. Step 1, find the axis of symmetry using x equals negative b over 2a. Then next, after the axis of symmetry, we are going to find the vertex. And then step 3, find two other points and reflect them across the axis of symmetry. Then connect the 5 points with a smooth curve. Then make a table using x values close to the axis of symmetry. Of course, in order for you to graph, we are going to make a table of values. Now let us graph y equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 1. The first step is to find the axis of symmetry using the formula x equals negative b over 2a. So from here, we shall have 4 over 2 times 2, which is equal to 1. So x equals 1 is here. And from that, we are going to substitute it to the original equation. So in that, we are going to find the vertex. So substituting 1 to the original equation, so we will be getting 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 minus 1, which is equal to negative 3, because 2 minus 4 is equal to negative 2 minus 1 equals negative 3. So the vertex will be 1, negative 3. So now let's move on to step number 3. Find two other points and reflect them across the axis of symmetry. Then connect the 5 points with a smooth curve. So in here, we are going to make our table of values. So if x is equal to 2, we are going to solve for y by substituting 2 in the original equation. So if x is equal to 2, y equals negative 1. So we have 2, negative 1, and we are going to plot it in the coordinate plane. So we have 2, negative 1 here. And if x is equal to 3, we are going to substitute 3 in the original equation. So y equals 5. So we have 3, 5. So from here, we are going to reflect these 2 points. So in here, we are going to have the point here. And this one, the reflection will be, so 1 to 2 units in here. So doing that, we have this one. Okay? So from that, we are going to connect it through a smooth curve. So this is the graph of y equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 1. Now let's move on to y-intercept of a quadratic function. So we are going to determine the y-intercept of y equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 1. So in here, we all know that y-intercept of a quadratic function can be found when x equals 0. So using the original equation, we are going to substitute 0 in x. So y equals negative 1. But here's a technique for this one, okay? So instead of us substituting x equals 0 in the original equation, all we need to do is take a look at the constant term, and then we can conclude that the constant term is always the y-intercept. So y equals negative 1. Now let us have a short review about this one. So what is the vertex? It is the lowest or highest point of a parabola. So if the parabola opens upward, we have the minimum. If it opens downward, we have the maximum. That is the vertex. And what is the axis of symmetry? It is the vertical line through the vertex of the parabola. Let's move on to the vertex form equation. It is in the form y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. If a is positive, the parabola opens up. If a is negative, the parabola opens down. The vertex is the point hk. The axis of symmetry is the vertical line x equals h. And don't forget about 2 points on either side of the vertex, of course. So in total, we need 5 points in order for us to graph an equation. So every function can be written in the form x minus h squared plus k, where hk is the vertex of the parabola and x equals h is its axis of symmetry. So x minus h squared plus k is the vertex form, okay? So from here, if we have the equation y equals x squared, using the vertex form, it is in the form y equals x minus 0 squared plus 0. So we don't have, or the value of your h and k is equal to 0. So the vertex is 0, 0, and the axis of symmetry, x equals 0. Y equals x squared plus 2, or in the form of vertex form, we have y equals x minus 0 squared plus 2. The vertex is 0, 2, and the axis of symmetry, x equals 0. We have y equals x minus 3 to the second power or squared, or y equals x minus 3 squared plus 0. The vertex is 3, 0, and the axis of symmetry is x equals 3. So in here, let us have a short activity in here with a partner. Find the key characteristics. F of x equals negative 0.5 times x plus 3 squared plus 4. So we answer the following questions. So does the parabola open up or down? We also need to determine the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and of course, we are going to make the table of values. So from here, if x is equal to negative 1 down to if x is equal to negative 5, we already have. And the vertex is at negative 3, 4. The axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3. And that's it. We have these points and we have the smooth curve. So this is the graph of the function f of x equals negative 0.5 times x plus 3 squared plus 4. So as you can see here, if it is plus, then your vertex, the coordinate of the vertex will be negative, as well as the value for your axis of symmetry will become negative. So x equals negative 3 and the vertex negative 3, 4. When you are solving for y, of course, whatever the value of your x, you just need to substitute it in the original equation. It opens down because of the negative symbol in here. Okay? Changing from vertex or intercepts form to standard form. The key is to FOIL. So F stands for first, first times first, then O stands for outside times outside, I stands for inside times inside, and L stands for last and last. You learned this one in your algebra before. So example, y equals negative x plus 4 times x minus 9. In order for us to convert it to standard form, all we need to do is to multiply. So the first example, it is equal to x squared minus 9x plus 4x minus 36. And this one, we are going to write it as x minus 1 times x minus 1. Continuing so, simplifying further, so negative 9x plus 4x is equal to minus 5x. And in here, multiplying this one, it is equal to x squared minus x plus 1. Then, so the first one here, y equals negative x squared plus negative times negative plus 5x, negative times negatives plus 36. Then in here, we have 3 times x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus 8. And this is the final answer for the first example. We can simplify further this one. So distributing 3 inside the parenthesis, 3x squared minus 6x plus 3. Then we are going to add plus 8. So the final answer would be y equals 3x squared minus 6x plus 11. So let us change from standard form to vertex form. So it's the other way around this time. So let us recall the standard form is in the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. For the vertex form, it is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So in here, the first thing we need to do is to subtract both sides by 32. And then we are going to complete the squares. In completing the squares, whatever the numerical coefficient of the second term, we are going to divide it by 2 and then square it. So 12 divided by 2 squared, it is equal to 36. Then we are going to add both sides by 36. Negative 32 plus 36, it is equal to 4. So then 4 will be transposed to the other side. So we will be getting y equals x plus 6 squared minus 4. So where did we get x plus 6 squared? Because when we are going to convert this one into two binomials, the product of two binomials, it is equal to x plus 6 times x plus 6 or x plus 6 squared. Now let us have another example. Y equals negative x squared plus 4x minus 1. So in here, as you can see, we have a negative coefficient of x squared. So all we need to do is to put it outside. So we have negative times x squared minus 4x. Why minus? Because negative times negative is positive. And then we are going to add 1 to both sides of the equations. And then we are going to complete this one. So negative 4 divided by 2 squared, it is equal to 4. And then why I subtracted 4 to both sides? Because negative times 4 is negative 4. So from here, simplifying further, 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And then rewriting this one, it is equal to x minus 2 squared. Then we are going to transpose minus 3 to the other side. So the final answer would be y equals negative times x minus 2 squared plus 3. So let us have y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 9. So the first thing we need to do here is to subtract both sides by 9 as well as to rewrite this one as 2 times x squared minus 4x. Why minus 4? Because 8, negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. 2 times negative 4 is minus 8. Okay? Simplifying further, so we have y minus 9 equals 2 times x squared minus 4x. From here, we are going to complete the squares in here. So it is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4. Why I added 8 in here? Because we added 8 in here. So 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, whatever you do to the right side, you do it to the left side of the equation to make it balance. So negative 1 or negative 9 plus 8, it is equal to negative 1. So y minus 1. And then we're writing this 1. It is equal to x minus 2 squared. Then transpose negative 1 to the other side. So the final answer would be y equals 2 times x minus 2 squared plus 1. So let us have a short recall. So this is the axis of symmetry, this is the vertex, and these are the intercepts, okay? So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. See you again next time. Bye.